Beautiful Betsy went missing on the 26th of February 1945 with the loss of 8 lives, 6 American and 2 British service personnel. The Liberator was on a Fat Cat mission from Fenton to Eagle Farm Airfield. The wreckage of Beautiful Betsy was not discovered until 49 years later on the 2nd of August 1994, when a park ranger, Mark Rowe, was checking the results of a controlled burn in the Kroombit Tops National Park, about 80 kilometres from Gladstone. Standing on an escarpment, he saw something glinting in the sunlight about 800 metres north of his location. He found the wreckage of Beautiful Betsy, which had crashed into the side of an unnamed hillside. Those killed in the crash were First Lieutenant William Emmett McDaniel, he was the pilot, Second Lieutenant Eugene A. Kilcheski, Second Lieutenant Hilary E. Rout, Second Lieutenant Jack W. Owen, Technical Sergeant Raymond L. Tucker, Technical Sergeant Harold J. Lemons, Flight Lieutenant Thomas John Donald Cook, he was a British Spitfire pilot, Flying Officer Roy Albert Arthur Cannon, he was also a British Spitfire pilot. The 2 British pilots were buried in Arlington National Cemetery in the USA. The pilot, Lieutenant Bill McDaniel, volunteered to pilot the plane, which had suffered combat fatigue. It was only used for short runs. It had been retired from combat for some time and is believed that it was about to be grounded for good. Bill McDaniel was married to Lorraine and had 1 son who he never got to see. His widow Lorraine was still living in 2001. Okay, so we're en route now to try and find Beautiful Betsy. We've put it into Google Maps. It actually comes up as Beautiful Betsy Walking Trail. So there's 2 routes in to the area we're looking for. One which takes an hour and 45 minutes and goes all the way round Kroombit Tops, and the other one which they give 1 hour and 30 minutes roughly, and goes straight into Kroombit Tops. So we've picked the short one. Now, as far as we're aware, there's a bit of off-roading required for that, but we don't know how bad it will be. I've got a recovery bag with me. We'll let the tyres down to maybe 25 psi just to make it a bit more comfortable, and we'll see how we go. It's showing 1 hour 27 minutes and only 45 kilometres, so it's obviously going to be fairly slow going to get in there, but we knew that. Anyway, we'll come back to you when we've got a bit more interesting footage. Catch you later.
Good morning everyone, and welcome back to Pozzie Adventures. Today is Mother's Day, so wishing all of those mums out there a very happy Mother's Day, and hope that your children or fur kids or whatever you have to relate to as a mum, that you get thoroughly spoiled. Anyway, we are heading into the Kroombit Tops to have a look at Beautiful Betsy, as Richard said earlier. So
fur kids, how are the fur kids going to spoil their mothers?
Well, they might. They give them pets and cuddles and licks.
Well, they're not going to be buying them anything. They haven't got any pockets.
Anyhow, wishing all of those mums,
turn right.
Wishing all of those mums out there a beautiful Mother's Day, and hope you have a lovely day.
Hey Mum, I'm on the telly.
Woohoo!
Okay, so the GPS sent us this way, where we met this gate, and on the other side of the gate are these signs. So basically Tanya's given the number on the sign a call, and the guy said, yeah, not a problem, you can travel through the land. So we've come through, obviously locking the gate behind us. Daryl is just letting his air out of his tyres just to get down a little bit, because apparently we've been told it can be a bit rough getting up to the plane, to the crash site. So I'm on standard size tyres. Daryl's slightly bigger than me. He's got a slightly upgrade on his tyres, both on all terrains. I've gone down to 25, I think he's gone down to 32. And apparently, where we're heading, over in the distance there, you can probably just see there's a power pylon. And we're heading up there, and then I believe, and I'm guessing, that Beautiful Betsy lives up here somewhere. But we'll find out when we get there. Anyway, let's get on the adventure. So this road is actually called Roy's Road. Yeah, we'll see where we end up.
So we're continuing through on Roy's Road. It is a cattle farm, as we will find out very shortly, because the cattle are all over the road. I wonder if they will move for us. Move! They look quite comfy.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be from here close.
You think?
Yeah, I thought so.
Looks like a bull.
Okay.
They look very unimpressed that we're in their territory. This is now part of the farm track that we're on. We're still 40 kilometres from our destination and the time seems to keep going up. But anyway, we'll see how we go on this. So we are following the GPS, although I do seem to think it may be telling us a few porkies. Because I don't reckon anyone's been down this way for some time. Ooh, there's a branch. However, we are following the map, so I guess we must be doing something right. So let's keep hoping the gates allow us access to the roads that the GPS tells us we should be on, and see how we go. So having got lost for some time in however many acres of property this farm owner has,
Quite a bit.
we went on some tracks where no people have been for some time, we reckon. and it's really good to be back on a normal-ish track. Still pretty bumpy, but at least it's well maintained. We've passed someone doing dozering the track to clear it off a bit more, probably from after the flooding, and we caught up with the truck guy that we met right at the very beginning. He wasn't in his truck there, I don't know quite what he was up to. So anyway, we'll keep you posted once we're back to civilization, or at least back to Beautiful Betsy, where we can see where we've our end goal. Then we will check back again. There we go. Look at that stag with his horns. Awesome.
Just a few guinea fowl out here, look.
We've managed to come into the national park. We're still following the GPS. We're now only 21 kilometres away. You can see here lots and lots of grass trees. They're very tall.
Different to the ones we have.
Yeah. They're much taller than the grass trees we have near where we live, between ranges. The track here is fairly well maintained at this stage. We're still 20 kilometres away, so anything could change between now and then, as four-wheel drivers will know. But we're enjoying the adventure. We've certainly taken a different route to get here to that of our GPS, and we have absolutely no phone signal here at all, so the GPS is struggling to keep up with us. Doubt you can see how steep this is, but it is, trust me, it's very steep.
Daryl, if you just wait there before you come down, I want to film you.
No worries, that looks a bit steeper too.
I'm going to send the drone up.
Google up these tracks. It tells us that we're now 16 kilometres from our destination. It's quite rough and rugged. There's been some pinstriping happening. Lots of big stones to go over, which were potentially riverbeds at some point. Lots of boab trees, very majestic.
Okay, check out this for a view. It's the track that just keeps giving and giving. I think we might have met our end here.
Yeah, it looks pretty steep and gnarly.
Bit of walking. So you would have seen the big vast amount of loose stones that were in front of us. What didn't we do?
Well, we didn't go up it because it's too blooming hard.
So
we're not in highly modified four-wheel drives. We're just in normal four-wheel drives. Got a 2-inch lift, standard wheels, or tyres, and to be honest, we're too far from home to break something. Where the Queensland has had all the rain, that section of track was just a hell of a lot of loose boulders and rocks. I'm sure that there would be another way to get where we wanted to go, but we're just running out of time now. The weather's closing in, it's starting to rain, so we're gonna call it a day. We didn't get to go and see Beautiful Betsy. We can from here if Tanya puts the camera out the window and shines backwards towards the cliffs. That's where our final resting place is. Yeah, so basically back there was where our final resting place was. And we'll come back, we'll do it another time, try a different route, but yeah, right now it is not the time for it. The weather's turning grim, tracks are getting slippery, and it's getting dark. It'll be dark in 2.5 hours. So yeah, we've just got to know when we're beat. Let's head back. Good morning. Okay, so update. The trip to Beautiful Betsy unfortunately didn't pan out. We took a few wrong turns, ended up on an old track that hasn't been used for years, was the impression I get. Anyway, there was a climb there that just wasn't possible. With all the rain that Queensland's had, the rocks and everything had been washed down. The clay was about a foot deep. Even walking it, your feet were sinking into the clay about a foot deep. We spun around. We headed back to the original Razorback track. We got quite well in, but we were still an hour and a half by the GPS away from Beautiful Betsy. When we got there, it would have been dark, or just getting dark. We didn't relish the thought of trying to drive out on those tracks in the dark, so we've called it a day. We'll come back. We will do it, but unfortunately it's something for another day. We just had to know when we beat yesterday. The weather was coming in as well, so anyway, it is what it is. Shame, I really wanted to do it, but yeah, it didn't work out this time.
Well, unfortunately on this occasion we didn't make it up to Beautiful Betsy to look at the crash site. Unfortunately, believing what Google tells you with time is a mistake in this case. We took quite a few wrong turns on this trip and unfortunately paid the price with not being able to get to where we wanted to go. If you are planning on doing this trip yourself and you're planning on going up via Razorback track, just allow a whole day for this trip, because it is quite a reasonable distance and quite challenging terrain. If you enjoy what you're watching and what we're putting out, please click the thumbs up, like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to catch up with any future videos. Thank you, and we'll see you on the next one.